In addition to your #1 album, you're also #1 at the box office over the weekend with the official release party of A Showgirl. Congrats on that as well. That's super.
We are hanging out with Taylor Swift, and what a moment. It is now in addition to your #1 album, you are also #1 at the box office this past weekend with the official release party of A Showgirl. Congratulations on that. That is super exciting. Thank you. It really is something completely different. And it's been such a fun experience to bring something new to the world and see how people are reacting to it. And on top of that, you also debuted a video for the Fate of Ophelia. Yes. It has been incredible to finally share that video with everyone. It is amazing to see all the reactions fans and critics alike are really looking at every frame, trying to spot all the hidden details and Easter eggs. You can tell that so much thought and care went into every little piece of it. Absolutely every single element was intentional. I wanted to feel like an experience, not just a video. I wanted people to feel transported. When they watched it, it is gorgeous. I was curious, were you starting in a museum or what was the base of it? It was actually filmed in a Hollywood theater, but we wanted it to feel like it could exist anywhere. It could be a theater in New York or London or somewhere completely imaginary. We wanted it to feel ambiguous, a place where you might see a Shakespeare play, a ballet, a concert. You name it, we wanted it to feel like a space where anything could happen. And there are references to the John Everett Millais painting of Ophelia, right? Yes, that painting is referenced both on the album cover and in the video. Ophelia is a sort of plot device, a symbol of vulnerability, beauty, and the way we can find strength even in fragility. It ties all the other visual elements together and helps the story flow from beginning to end. It is so beautiful because at first it looks like a painting, but then it suddenly becomes three-dimensional. You are standing in it, interacting with it. It is magical. Exactly, we call that moment the breaking of the parallax. Oh, wait, that is the name of your next album, right? Yes, isn't that a perfect title, The Breaking of the Parallax? Absolutely, that is amazing. Thanks, critics have been calling it brilliant as well. But basically a parallax is when something looks different depending on the angle from which you view it. The first scene captures that perfectly from the front. It looks like a painting. But as you move, you see all the layers of crew, the set, the lighting, everything that makes the magic happen. So it is literally a go behind the curtain moment for the audience. Exactly, it felt like a little secret that people could discover, which makes the experience so much more delightful. I also noticed a nod to the Eras tour in the video. Yes, we wanted to hint at that tour because each scene was shot in one take with either a Steadicam or a crane. Everything had to happen perfectly, otherwise the whole shot would not work. That is intense. It really was one take. That is, if you hit your marks or you do not, it brought alive performance energy into video that I really loved, and you had the entire Eras tour crew involved as well, right? Yes, everyone from the tour joined, and it felt like a joyous reunion. The energy was so infectious, and being back in that collaborative environment with everyone knowing exactly what to do made the production feel alive. There's also a reference to Kitty in the video. Can you explain that? Yes, there's a scene marker that says starring Kitty Finlay. Kitty is a fictional character in The Life of a Showgirl. She is a performer on stage who inspires you. But when you meet her, she warns you about the challenges of pursuing this path. It is something everyone entering the creative field can relate to, the chaos, the cutthroat nature, but also the joy if you love it enough. Oh, and that is also the name of your mom's Great Dane, yes, which made it even more special. Everything in the video ties back to family and personal history, which is very important to me. Speaking of family, your grandmother was Marjorie Finlay, right? Yes. And so the name Finlay honors her as well. All paths lead back to my mom in some way. I noticed a little sourdough cameo too. Yes, I have recently become obsessed with baking bread. It has become my whole personality at the moment. I talk endlessly about starters, kneading, proofing, everything. You even bake me bread. I did 2 loaves, in fact. And I said, please do not show this on TV. They will think I cannot stop talking about it. It is too much, but also amazing. Exactly, I need to move on to accompaniment, so jams, jellies, chutneys. I'm already daydreaming about all the possibilities. I can just picture you at a party, putting everyone in a verbal headlock, talking about your sourdough starter. Yes, that is the fun part. It is just who I am. You are also incredibly generous with your time. You give your all to every appearance, game, and conversation. Thank you. I love connecting with people about the work we have all poured our hearts into. All right, let's play another game. Yes, it's a fast one, no buzzer. It is called the game of last. I will say last blank, and you answer quickly. Last person you texted, Selena. Last concert you attended, the Eras tour in Vancouver, December. Last year, last TV show you watched them to Filled at Age. And a girlfriend, last movie you saw, The Paper, which was fantastic. And so many others, Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro. They were hilarious. The soundtrack by Johnny Greenwood is amazing. Every time you hear it, you feel something different. We are lucky to live in the era of Paul Thomas Anderson. Absolutely, his work is on a whole other level, and it is a joy to witness it in real time. Last fall activity. I baked cinnamon rolls. Perfect timing for the season. Last song of your own that you listen to, not on the new album. I have a tradition the night before a new album release. I listen to my previous album in full to say goodbye. This time it was Tortured. Poet's last song by any artist you listen to Tate McRae Estit. For Tat, I've been playing on full volume repeatedly. It is just that good. Finally, last person you said, and baby, that S-show business for you. I do not say it often, but today I will say it, that S-show business for you, since the life of a showgirl is officially out. What do you think about performing some songs and sharing stories behind them? I would love to. Let's do that after break, and then we can talk about the process of making each song, the inspiration behind the lyrics, the challenges in the studio, the emotional highs, the personal stories that inspired certain melodies and chords, how he chose the arrangements, the musicians who played on each track, and even some behind-the-scenes funny moments that no one has ever seen. We can discuss the costume choices for each performance, how the choreography was developed, and how the visuals were planned alongside the music. We can talk about the lighting choices of color, palettes, the influences from classical art and film, the symbolism hidden in the set design, and even the stories behind each prop and each little detail. We can dive into how the fans influenced certain decisions, how social media reactions shaped what we share, how the feedback from early listeners impacted the final mixes of collaborations that almost happened and the ones that did happen, and how they changed the dynamic of the songs. And then we can go deeper into my baking obsession, the ways it parallels making music, how patience and timing are everything, how experimenting with starters and temperatures reminds me of experimenting with melodies and vocal layers, and how sharing those moments with friends and family makes it even more special. We can also reflect on the era's tour memories, how each city brought a different energy, how interacted with fans, inspired lyrical changes, how the live versions of certain songs developed and became even more meaningful. We can even talk about the books I was reading during the writing process, how characters and themes inspired lyrics, how poetry and classical literature shaped the storytelling of the songs, and how every word choice was intentional to convey emotion and narrative. And we can continue sharing fun anecdotes about life behind the scenes, the travel, the rehearsals, the wardrobe malfunctions, the unexpected surprises, the joys of performing live, and the moments that make all the hard work worth it.